So I tip my cap to Tucker Kraft going out there banged up like he was, man, for sure. So, all right, let's get into the offensive side. Jacob, you ready? This is let's take our medicine real quick. So,
that's tough.
Darian Kennard was the highest rated player. He only played 4 snaps, so a 77.2. John Fitzpatrick, 16 snaps, a 76.9. Josh Jacobs, 43 snaps, 73.4. So you love to see that. Dontavion Wicks, 45 snaps, a 63.6. Matthew Golden, 47 snaps, 62.8. Obviously was the leading receiver yesterday as well for the Packers. Zach Tom, 1 snap, pass block grade, 0. God love him.
I don't mean to laugh, but yeah. I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
Right. Bo Melton had 3 snaps at receiver. That's interesting, right? 59.8. Jordan Love graded out a 59.0. I think here's the thing about Love. I thought Love played pretty good other than 2 plays. When he took the sack, right? When they rushed the play out there in the third quarter, that made no sense to me. It was just and I think that's more on LaFleur there. And LaFleur took ownership of that too. So yeah, respect oranges. You hurt me, Jacob. Zach Tom. So LaFleur took ownership of that debacle there before the end of the third. LaFleur is obsessed with, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, because when it works, we love it. He likes to try to, if the clock's running down at the end of the quarter and you've got time left on the play clock, he likes to get out there and try to rush to the line and get a free play real quick right before the end of the quarter, right? Because those guys don't have time to communicate. Hey, hold your water, don't jump. They're going to try to, he did that. Jordan comes to the line. You should have just let the clock run out. Right. Instead, and this is what Matt said, not me. Coach LaFleur said he's seen man coverage, picked a man beater, and just didn't work out. Mm-hmm. And that's where it's like, in that situation, you got to know this game is different than any other game you're playing, right? Like this specific game, the clock is your opponent right there. And the last thing you want to do is, all right, let's be aggressive here. Let's be aggressive here, right? No, it's just you go out there, let the clock run out, and in the first play of the third quarter, you run the ball because was it not a 3rd and 1 or something, Jacob? Am I thinking right?
I don't want to say for sure, but I thought it was something like 3rd and manageable. Yeah.
So I would much rather you come back in the fourth quarter, run the rock or a short completion. If you don't get the first down, you run 40 seconds off the clock, you punt that thing away, and you make Joe Flacco beat you. That's just the game that you should have been playing there, because that's how that entire game, 3rd and 1. Yeah. So, and here's how I feel about that, Jay. And I know this is a boring way to fan, but if we can't gain a yard on 3rd down and then we get stuffed, some would say, well, you don't deserve to win the game. I can live with that. Hey, if you can't gain a yard, it ain't our day. Right. But also, you couple that with the fact of, all right, now we're going to punt the ball and flip the field for 50 to 60 yards. And if they go back down the field and score, we just didn't deserve to win. But when you feel like you beat yourself, that's the tough part. But at the same time, if you flip the script here and you say, okay, we beat ourselves yesterday and we still only lost by 3 points against a top 5 defense in the league, I'm telling you guys, now's the time for that stuff to happen. And put that in the memory bank for later in the season, So, all right. So, Josh Jacobs, Dontavion Wicks. I want to click on Dontavion real quick. What's he looking like this year so far? So, he's 74, 79, 63. So, on the year, a 75.6. Not bad. On 104 snaps already. So, we're seeing more of the 2023 rookie Dontavion Wicks at a 77.8 as opposed to last year with the 65.1, right? So, Tay Wicks might still be a great player moving forward. That's exciting. Matthew Golden so far this year, it's early, but a 61, 52, 62. Now, we talked about that. We feel like he's having a better season than they're showing there. However, he's flirting with that 60 mark that we talk about is good for a rookie player. 59.1 is where he's at right now. It's typically a good sign if you grade out in the 60s your rookie year that you're going to be a good player. Zach Tom, Bo Melton. Let's look at Jordan real quick. How did this hurt him on the year? 76, 86, 59. So now on the season, his grade is still a 79.6 with an 80.1.
And I honestly think that I feel like that grade should be the week 3 grade should be higher. Like if you look at one point, he was like 18 for 23. It wasn't a ton of yardage, and obviously it was a couple boneheaded plays that and I say boneheaded, not trying to be insulting or anything like that, but just that one pass, the interception, that's tough. And obviously certain things like I brought up yesterday where clearly had the first down, decides to slide. We end up getting the first down after, so that's, I understand that, but it's just like situational awareness. He did seem like he was a little bit kind of floaty, where he just kind of didn't quite have the head in the game. But at this point, to be 79.6, I mean, I'm very happy with where Jordan is right now.
I am too, man. I think he's going to bounce back this week too, and be right back in the MVP conversation. Not that matters. I don't want y'all to take that the wrong. I could give a rat's rear end whether he wins MVP or not.
Speaking of that, do you think that there's any? Because I don't know if there was a question specifically about it, but did it seem like they were trying to force Josh Jacobs to get certain carries to get a touchdown to try to get him that record, rather than just doing what was right on the field to get us more points, if that makes sense?
I didn't see that at all. No,
I didn't either, but I saw again in the Facebook groups, that's the big trying to go for a record and get the win. And it's like, Josh Jacobs is good. You give him the ball when you're in the red zone. Like, you know what I mean? I just, I don't know.
And that's like, for me, if anything, it was the opposite. Like, I would have pressed a little more into trying to get him that touchdown. But what do we end up doing? We end up running a bootleg and getting a touchdown to Fitzpatrick, which the thing that sticks out to me here, Jacob, John Fitzpatrick, 16 snaps, Luke Musgrave only 13. Did he get hurt at some point or something? Does anybody in the chat remember Musgrave getting banged
People
up?
in the chat asked where Musgrave was. Did he get hurt? I will say that maybe is it that point where now John Fitzpatrick has just performed to the point where they feel more comfortable putting him out on the field. And I'll be honest, I thought I liked even that play. Remember, if he fell down and they did like I can't remember if it was like a boot around or whatever, and he got back up and he was the only one open, and Love smacked him right there. And I think he got a first down for that play, or at least like 8 or 9 yards. And I was like, my boy Fitz. All right.
Yeah, it was a 23 boot and they had him leak. So 23 boot, which is it's a 23 fake. Essentially what you're doing is a B gap left run fake, and then rolling out with everybody fanning to the left as if it's a zone left run, bootleg out. He chipped off the right side and leaked out and kind of faded back away from the defense. It was actually a pretty solid play by him, man. It was. And it wasn't nothing beautiful, wasn't nothing fancy, but it was just like, man, that was a high IQ play because the Browns did a good job plastering, in the end zone for sure.
Yep.
So.
What do you think real quick about Joe's comment? Browns suffocating King Henry, not taking anything away from this game on Jacobs' performance, but dude, they limited him to 23 yards.
Right. No,
you know what I mean?
I talked about this going into the game, guys, and leading up to the game, I feel like it was falling on deaf ears, not necessarily people in here, but it was just like, well, it's still the Browns. We'll win. We got this.
I'm guilty of it. I thought we'd score 30.
And what did I say, Jay? I think I said 26. Right. I was way off too. You know what I mean? Like, so I was lower than your all score, and it still was too high. Right. But nonetheless, the point is you can play a team that's got a great defense and you have 2 or 3 fluke things happen, and all of a sudden you're in a dogfight at the end. Right. And it doesn't mean so many people that were in the comments today on Twitter were just like, well, it's the Browns, though. They suck. I'm like, if you watch that defense play football this year and you think they suck, there's no reason for you and I to have football conversations. It's one of the best defenses in the league. Now, their offense and Joe Flacco, absolutely, they stink. There's no two ways about it. But we should have been able to hold them to 3 points yesterday, too, if Jordan doesn't throw that interception. I think we're sitting here talking about a 10-3 win is what I think we're talking about. So, and are we proud of that? Would that be like, oh, yeah, no, absolutely not. It'd be an ugly win, but a win's a win, right? So, but yeah. Looks like Coach Lynn says, I guess 17-10. You were all over it, Coach. You were all over it, man, for sure. All right, let's see what else we got here offensively. Just want to hit on a couple more. Emmanuel Wilson got 16 snaps. That's more, it seems like, than he's had so far. Pass block grade 80.4. That's solid, right?
Am I crazy? I was just going to say Chris Brooks. I just don't even remember seeing him out there. But
right. Let's talk about the negatives here, guys. The lowest graded players on the field. Rasheed Walker, your left tackle, 34.1. Jordan Morgan, your left, they got it listed as left guard. I know he played multiple positions, 40.7. Aaron Banks, 40.9. Anthony Belton, 41.6. Elton Jenkins, 44.6. Let me tell you what that means. Having your 5 offensive linemen as your lowest graded players, that means you got your ass kicked in the trenches, case closed. So the fact that they graded Jordan so low, if you remove the interception from Jordan Love there and that boneheaded play on 3rd and 1 where he took the sack, I'm looking at Jordan going, boy, he better be grading out in the 80s. So that's why I don't
Yeah.
really understand his grade that much.
Exactly. Yeah.
But and the offensive line play, obviously. I want to say this with Rasheed Walker. I know it's been a big talking point. That whole we're going undefeated. Come on, dude. Like, what are we doing? Like, why put that target on your back? You had him saying we're going undefeated, and you have Micah Parsons saying he was going to go out there and hunt Flacco. And we love it leading up to the game. It's like, yeah, that's what all right, yeah. Maybe we're counting our chickens before they hatch. And that's why I think if I was LaFleur, I'd go into that meeting today, and that's what I'd lead the meeting off with. I'd play that audio of Rasheed Walker saying that, and I'd play that audio of Micah Parsons making an example out of his ass too, and be like, boys, how we feel about it? Rasheed, you got your butt kicked all day. Micah, you didn't land in the stat column. Did you get a sack? Why are we talking? Let's go play ball. You know what I mean? Now, if they go out there and back it up, I'm singing a different tune today, but I think it is, there you go, Coach Lane, just shut up and play ball. Exactly, man. Why put that target on your back? If you think for a second that the Browns organization didn't play those two clips, I guarantee you they did it.
I was just going to say, I know they did that. And
I would.
I was going to say, what do you want to do to light a fire? Show them people talking crap about you, and to do it in week 2, like you said. I mean, and you could see, dude, and you guys, I love Parsons. I love him now that he's here. Everything's great. I understand the catalyst he was, but like, man, he got decleated by the running back. Quinshaw and Judkins absolutely tacked that dude to the point where he had to go off the sidelines and like sit there on his knees. And then it was really cool. Remember, he looked at him and he went,
pointed at him. Yeah.
I see you. Like,
cool moment, right?
It was actually dope. But like, it's just one of those things. And that remind me reminiscent of Aaron Jones when he did the same thing. He chipped that guy in the next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
again, leading up to getting Micah, Jacob, this is what we talked about. He's an elite speed rusher. He is, right? It doesn't mean his whole game is perfect. It's not. And the thing about speed rushers, guys, they wear down. Like, you're going to be tired. You're going to need a spell. There was multiple times you could see him going back, his hands on his hips to the huddle. And then you've seen Rashawn Gary just literally kicking people's asses just about every snap, right? Which is mind-boggling that his PFF grade is so much lower than Micah's. When you turn on the tape, you see Gary just playing gap sound and getting to the quarterback, So, Soder, I'm glad you said, he said Parsons was out of gas yesterday. I seen it too. Like, and I thought it was just me because I'm combing through Twitter and nobody's talking about it. So I just kept my mouth shut.
Dude, there was multiple times where I was talking with Justin and the old guys from the fantasy podcast, and 3 or 4 different times during the game, they're like, is Parsons hurt? He's on the sideline and he looks like he could be hurt. Like, and he just was gassed, man. And whatever. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here on my couch criticizing a guy that's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Yeah, just got Cheeto stains everywhere and all that. But like, and that's tough, to throw a guy in. What was he, like 6 days before we're like, all right, Parsons, go out and be our, star player out here. Yeah. It is what it is, man. Like Coach says, he's just still not in football. There is getting in shape, and then there is football shape. I'm telling you.
Very well said. Yeah. And again, if you wouldn't say it to a player's face, we don't say it on the show. I ain't saying it to that man's face. You know what I mean? Look at that guy right there.
Guys forget that it was 85 degrees on the field yesterday.
Was it really?
Humid as all get out. And so go out there and try to do that in that type of weather, and it'll suck the energy right out of you, I tell you.
Yeah. I'm going to click on special teams grade. And I know PFF's a little bit wonky how they do their special teams, but I just want to take a quick glance here. Zane Anderson, 80.6. Chris Brooks, 74.9. Isaiah McDuffie, 73.0. The people that think that they have done nothing to try to help the special teams, I mean, what did you do? You re-signed Isaiah McDuffie to a 2-year deal. He's one of your best special teams players. You bring back Chris Brooks. That's a key special teams player. Zane Anderson, same thing, right? Barron Sorrell had a 69.5. Javon Bullard, 67.1. Down on the lower end, Jordan Morgan, who gave up partially gave up that blocked field goal. He only played 3 snaps, right, on special teams, a 26.0. Kingsley Nigbore, 29.1. Keyshawn Nixon, 29.6. LVN had a bad day there on special teams with a 34.9 as well. So just wanted to kind of take a glance at that real quick, not that it matters too much. So there are your PFF grades. So before we wrap up, Jacob, we got the Dallas Cowboys coming up here, right? First of all, is there anything else you want to hit on in terms of the Browns game? Anything at all?
Well, I got a couple chats if you want to hit them quick.
Yeah, let's do it.